me a thumbs up when we're live. And we're live. Hello, everybody. It's going to be some changes around here. We're not calling it Night Lions Live anymore. We're calling it the Catfish and Crappie Podcast. Why, you ask? Because this show is being converted into a podcast after each one. I'm going to upload this one tonight. It'll be out there to download tomorrow on all your favorite podcast services, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. So if you guys need something to listen to in the car or while you're cutting the lawn this summer, or even if you're on the bank, subscribe to the podcast, which will go live tomorrow, and I'd appreciate the listen. I'm going to download the whole catalog of all the Catfish and Crappie shows, and it should be a pretty cool resource, a pretty good source of entertainment, something to maybe bring our guests and myself a little more attention and subscribers, so it should work out great. So, Catfish Weekly, for what I saw, it was a great show, wasn't it, Skip?
How you doing? Yes, it was great.
It was always good. It's always good. We got a bunch
Always
of people
good.
in the house. We're going to give them a few minutes. Oh, we got 46 in here already. Holy smokes. All right, let's start. I'm going to start saying hello to a few people here. If you're listening on a podcast, this is going to be one of the downsides besides downloading. I got to take everybody into consideration, but we're going to try and do it. This show airs on Monday nights on YouTube on the Catfish and Crappie YouTube channel. If you need to get there, you can just go to catfishandcrappie.net. That will direct you right to the YouTube channel. You can watch these live, or you can watch the back catalog of all the podcasts / Nightline live episodes that have already been done. So that being said, let's say hello to some people. Two Stan's Fishing. What's going on, Stan? Stan's son caught a 44 or 45 pound flathead this weekend. Did you hear about that?
Oh, wow.
On a James
I've seen
River.
a little bit of something about it.
Yeah, already. I was like, got flathead fever so bad. You have no clue. I'm ready. I still got 10 inches ice on my local waters. I was scoping out the river and stuff. I get carried away, Skip. That's the problem. Couple crosses fishing. Betty, what's going on? How are you? Alan Pirchala, please forgive me. I like to think I have a name mispronouncing card since mine is so difficult. But it's not intentional. Anna Lakin, what's going on, Anna? Big Country Catfishing, Big Slim 91. Brian B. Catfishing, Buckeye Catfishing. Catfish Fever and Outdoors, what's going on, Lynn? Hey, Norm from Catfish Headhunters. Central Valley Adventures, that's a new viewer. Thanks for checking it out. Chad Nolte, what's up? Miss Cindy Stokes, what's going on? That's you, Clearview Outdoors. What's going on, Skip?
Hey, how you doing?
Curtis Vaughn, Dakota per year. What's going on, Dakota? How are you? That's another new one. Dale Fleming, Daniel Ishmael, Dave Garchar. Please forgive me. Thank you for tuning in. My friend, excuse me, everything's going. David Martin, what's going on, Dave? Eric Burnside. Eric was streaming live today. What's going on, Eric? Thanks for coming in. Fins and Fines. What's up, buddy? That's Bob from the great state of Missouri. Fishing with Big Mike. Fishing with Squirrel. Fishing with the Chad. Look at this. Chad representing. Wearing the Fishing with the Chad t-shirt. Check out Fishing with the Chad's channel. I'm sure there's links over there to get some good merch from him. And it's the THA Chad, if you guys are listening on podcast. Fishing and Cooking with Mike Chavez. What's up, Mr. Chavez? You have me ready to pull my smoker out as soon as the snow melts. I'm ready to go. Fishing with Paula Smith. Fishing the Rut. Georgia Fisherman. Get hooked on D. What's going on, D? Great Outdoors Exploring. Hey, Sean. Greenwell Fishing. Mike Greenwell's got a show on Saturday night. James Dockery Fishing. Jason Lamb. John Boy Catfishing, Josh Monarch, Justin's Fishing Fetish, Jay's Catfishing. I haven't seen Jay around in a while, but the past couple of days, he's been showing up. Welcome back, Jace. Hopefully we can get some fishing done together here in the great state of Illinois. Well, in the great fishing state of Illinois. We won't get into politics there, Skip. Kevin Baker, Nuts and Bolt Fishing. Kevin Baker added that to his name. Hopefully he's moving forward with his channel. I have to make sure to check that out. Lee Evans, Catfish Kentucky Outdoors. What's going on? Lee, Mad Catter Catfishing. Maurice Kaysen, one of the great supporters of the channel, of all the channels. Mexicat Fishing. Mike Irvin, Mike Turner 712 Catfishing. Mike's Outdoors and Adventures. Mo Creek Fishing. What's going on, Rob? I might have Rob come on. Do you know Rob? He's a good dude. He's a really good guy. If you get a chance, message him on Facebook, start chatting with him. He is really passionate about the sport. He's a smart guy. He's got all sorts of cool hobbies. I just did a show with him. I am going to have Rob on. He's going to be a guest co-host a couple times in the next few weeks. I look forward to having him on here. I really appreciate the help too from Rob. Mr. Gadget Fishing, Muskrat Adventures. Of course, we know Roger. He's got his show on Tuesday nights, and he's part of the River Warriors, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the River Warriors tonight. Palmetto Cats. Palmetto is a busy man this weekend with the Catfish Conference. Papa Ed. Rocco's a good dude. He just ordered a hat for Lee Leaper, very generous. Lee's that hat's going to go out tomorrow to Lee. Thank you very much. Sharina's keeping it real. What's up, Sharina? SK's Crappie Catching Adventures. That's another one of the channels I've been following around for a long time. Stephen Corley, The Bullock Experience. Thomas Littlepage. Tim Molina's a great supporter of the channel. He's one of my enforcers. He's a mod. He's a good man. Tom Harris, a.k.a. Papa T. I believe that's a new viewer, welcome. Team Angling Experience, another new viewer, welcome. Twisted Fishing TV, that's a gentleman out of Indiana. We have a little bit in common. Uncle Josh, One Ton Fishing Club. Shout out to all the One Ton guys. And Willard Young. All right, we got 84 people in chat. If I'm going to go through this list again, by the time I'm done, we won't have any time left. So let's do it. Everybody, Skip Stewart, welcome to the show. Skip, how are you tonight?
Doing great. How are you all?
I'm doing good, man. I was happy to have you accept my invite on such short notice. I'll make time to spit out the truth. I had a guest that canceled on me, and you were the second person I was going to ask. You're on my short list of having guests on. I got some guests scheduled out first, just haven't gotten around to it, so I kind of shuffled it in there. I was so happy you accepted. You really saved my hiney since we were talking shiny. I
kind of figured maybe so.
Yeah, it was. Trust me, not that you weren't on the list. You definitely were.
I'm glad I could fill in.
You're not filling in at all. You're going to be you're definitely going to be one of the great people I have on here. I don't doubt that. Whatever. I was kind of saving you as my ace in the hole. Okay. To be honest, seriously, I really admire your fishing and so quickly in your channels, Clearview Outdoor. How good those videos are with only 3 up. I'm very impressed. Speaking of your channel, God, I'm talking a lot. Holy smokes. You'd think I did this for a living or something.
It's your show, man.
I guess. In the description, there's a link to Skip's YouTube channel. Again, Clearview Outdoors. Make sure you give him a sub before you go to bed tonight or before you quit listening to the show. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Let's help him grow. All right, let's talk like I totally don't know you. We're talking for the first time. I like to do this. Where are you from, Skip?
Chillicothe, Ohio.
Chillicothe, Ohio. A little side note: my wife is from Chillicothe, Missouri. Oh, but anyways, it just rings a bell. And what's your what do you consider your home waters?
We got a couple lakes pretty close here. Paint Creek Lake. It's about a half an hour from me, and Deer Creek, Rocky Fork. Before I started fishing the High River, I fished those quite a bit and have my whole life. We've always been campers, and ever since I was a kid, we used to camp and would fish from the bank and stuff. All those lakes, and but boy, I tell you, it's once you get to fishing the river, it's a whole new ball game, and it's fun. I love it. I love any chance I can get. I like going to the river.
How far are you away from the river?
About an hour. I can hit multiple places, like Portsmouth, Point Pleasant, Wheelersburg, Greenup Dam, all those in about an hour. And then we can go, we've made some trips down Ripley, down in that way. And that's about an hour and 40 minutes for me. Me and Rogers, we went to Ravenswood. That's it just seems like Roger calls it Flathead Paradise, I think, or Flathead Paradise Island or something. There's an island there.
Did he actually say the word flathead?
Oh yeah, I believe he says flathead. Yeah, that's where he caught his biggest flathead.
Excellent.
And, but we catch blues there too. We haven't been for a while. We really need to go, especially this spring, because it's just around that island. It's just cluttered with all kinds of wood, and man, they seem to love it. And
they should do. You got my attention already. Just the mention of that word flathead really gets me going. I'm going to say hello to Lyle over at Catfish Weekly. Lyle, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for supporting me and having the show after years. I really appreciate it, my friend. I also want to give a special shout out to, since I'm seeing him in here, I saw James Dockery in there, along with Chad. I'm saying hello again to Chad, Dee and Betty also, Katie at home. You guys are awesome. I just saw that we're at 99 viewers, and I couldn't do it without people like them. If I miss anybody, please forgive me. Being on here tonight is quite the experience. So, okay, back to you. I just wanted to make sure I get that, because I think I get in so much trouble after these shows when I forget that stuff. I really do.
Yeah, you did call me out, huh?
Yeah. Well, kind of. I think they like doing it on purpose. But all right. So, what side of the state are all those places? You'll have to forgive my lack of geographical knowledge of the great state of Ohio. Are we looking on the east side of the state, towards the Virginia side?
South. South Ohio.
Yeah, just south. The whole river. You guys fish.
Now we do, the Point Pleasant one is West Virginia.
Okay.
We do actually cross over a lot of times to a ramp that's right on the other side of the. You
don't have to give up your honey holes, but general locations work. Trust me, everybody understands.
If anybody knows Point Pleasant, they probably know where that ramp's at. So.
Okay, cool. And a couple of the places that you've mentioned, I definitely have heard Betty mention a lot. So, and she has nothing but good things to say. I need to make it out there and fish with all you guys, with Roger and Betty and yourself. And
Betty and Brandon, they fish that Paint Creek and Rocky Fork a lot.
Rocky Fork, they really like.
I think they really favor Paint Creek the most.
Mm-hmm.
We do go up to Hoover Reservoir too, because it's really the only lake in Ohio and close to us that has decent sized blues, and they have huge flatheads. You would love it.
I would love it.
There's a guy. Sometimes he's in chat. Oh, Dave Funk. He's got like 460s out of there.
I see pictures on David's Facebook every now and then. I just kind of friended him in the last couple of weeks, actually, maybe month or so. So I look forward when Flathead season comes around to seeing those pictures from all the new people. So, all right, let's talk.
So many new names coming up.
Crazy, isn't it? It's taken off like crazy. I mean, people have a lot of extra time now, with all the unfortunate things that are going on. Everybody's getting out and doing some fishing, and who can blame them? But you know what? Once we get past this, there's going to be a lot of used gear we can take advantage of, because I don't think you and I are going to stop. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how you got into fishing. Is that something you've always had in your life? Is it something that you came about a little later?
I guess I've always had it, from a young age. Grandpa had a pond, it just had bass and bluegill in it, and, creek, catching stuff out of the creek down there, So yeah, I've always, had a little feel for fishing. Loved catching bluegill and bass. I used to be big into bass, probably in my early 20s, and I was a huge pond hopper. I could spot a pond a mile away, and I would do
smell
everything
it when you're driving by.
Yeah, I would do everything I could to get permission, and my wife she hated it because I drove about an hour and I would take all my stuff with me and I'd hit these ponds on the way home, you know. Sometimes I'd end up with no dinner, you know.
Very cool. I spent a lot of time fishing in ponds and stuff out here. Where we live, there's a ton of ponds and there's a ton of big bass. So I've had my experience with all of that. So, and no, none of them are actually my bait ponds. Do you hear that, DNR? They are not my bait ponds. I'm just kidding. What's going on, Chunky? I just caught Chunky hollering out to me in the corner of my eye. Forgive me if I'm missing anybody else. Country Boy Catfishing, Jason Lamb. Trying hard to keep
got
up with this.
out of the bass fishing and got into hunting pretty hard as my boys were growing up. But we would still fish, you know, any time we was around water, I guess, you know, camping and things like that. But really started getting into hunting clear up until about 2018 when I got my boat. Actually, I first got a John boat, and we started fishing the Scioto. I forgot about the Scioto too. We fished it a lot over the years. And my son, he loves fishing that little river. To me, it's very challenging. It's so up and down all the time. And getting around on it when it's low is tough. But we've got some nice flatheads out of there or shovel heads. I have to give that out to Betty. Hey, I've caught them both on my line. So.
You know, she's the first person that ever said that. I've never actually heard that. So I like to tease her, but as long as you're catching them, it doesn't matter what you call them.
Yeah, here in Ohio, there's a lot of people. They either call them shovel head or flathead, either one.
Betty's asking you to take her to the Scoito. Is that a place? And show her around? Can you believe it? I've never fished there. Scoito, Scioto. Scioto?
Oh, the Scioto. Yeah, the
Scioto.
Yeah, that's the Scioto. Scioto River.
Oh, the river. Yeah, okay.
We might be able to do that sometime.
Is that a big river, small river? What's going on with that? Or
what's river, yeah. It's small. A small river.
You know, there's something about the Mississippi.
Ohio down there.
There's something about the Mississippi that, you know, is really romantic for me too. But, you know, small creeks and rivers, they have their place in my heart too, definitely. They're always fun. We got the Kishwaukee River up here, which is a really small one that I like to wade in, or when I got a canoe, when I had a canoe or a kayak, I spent a lot of time on there. So yeah. I get it. But a river's got my heart. It really does. You know, I'll fish lakes for crappies a lot, and it just doesn't do it for me as much as fishing, you know, big rivers. And I'm still trying to figure out river crappies, but hopefully we'll get a handle on that this year. But
I know they're in there because we catch them in the cast net a lot.
Yeah, same here. You know, and the ones I get in my cast net are always the big ones. Yeah, big ones. The ones I get hook and line aren't so big, but we'll get them figured out. I know they're in there, and that's all I need to know. Excuse me. All right, so let's talk a little bit about let's talk about your boat. What are you fishing out of?
I've got a 2018 Tracker 165. It's a deep V Pro Guide. See, yeah, I think they call it a Pro Guide 165.
It's a deep V, right?
Huh?
Deep V, you said? Is it a deep V?
Yeah, it's about 17 feet. They call it a 165, but it's like 16.9. But it's wide. It's wider than their 16-footer. It's a lot wider. It's got a 115 on it. I've added the Ulterra 80-pound thrust on that. It came with like a 55-pound. It just wasn't enough. And really, if I had it to do over, I probably wouldn't have got the Ulterra.
We can talk about that after you're done telling me about the rest of your boat, but go on.
Okay. Had some issues. But, yeah, it's, you know, I when I first got it, we wanted something we could use for the whole family. I didn't even know I was going to get into catfishing like this. You know, I just love to fish. I didn't care what I was catching, really. You know, crappie or channel cats or even still did a little bass fishing at first, just plugging around. And man, once I started catching some bigger cats and going down there to the river, it just kind of sucked me in. And, but the boat was, we can tube off of it. I can take the whole family out in it. It'll hold like 6 people. So, it's great when we go camping. We take the grandkids out and the kids, and
that sounds like a good
time.
Sounds like
Everybody
a real
has
good time. Yeah, it sounds like a really good time. What kind of power plant you running on that?
It's a 115 Mercury.
115 Mercury, and that Mercury isn't giving you any trouble?
No, it runs like butter, man. It's smooth and good on gas. I got a 25-gallon tank. Sometimes I can go 2 trips at the river, and still have gas. Yeah, it does really good. Really, really happy with that.
I get getting some messages here. Everybody's screaming at me in chat to check some messages. I'm trying to figure it out. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Mercury. I got a little 40-horse Mercury, and I've had Mercuries before. I haven't had I haven't had any problems with them actually. And I hear people talking about how great all the other motors are, and I don't know if I agree with that so much. So, but I am considering a Honda in my next boat. I'm not gonna lie.
Great.
Yeah, something about them just taking the motor out of a car, turning it on its side, and beefing it up. That kind of does it for me. But I'm getting off the thing. Let's get back to that Altera because I have one too. I got a 24 volt. Is yours 24 or 36?
24.
24. So they're set. What is that? You said 70 pounds? Yeah,
80 pounds. 80 pounds.
Man, that sucker will move my little boat at about 10 miles an hour. If I put it on 10, we're rocking and rolling in that thing. But I did have some problems with it. Can you tell me what happened with yours?
Well, the first thing that went bad was I've had a few issues like when it would go to deploy when it's cold. It doesn't like the cold. And so when it goes to stow, it jammed up on me once, and I couldn't get it to stow, so it was stuck deployed. But I called Minnesota. They talked me right through it. Got it figured out. There's a little button down there, and it was just stuck, froze up basically because of the cold. And which now I'm lubing that, and haven't really had an issue with that. The major problem for like a fact, luckily it was still under warranty, was the motherboard went out of it. It's just all screwing up and everything. You had the same problem?
I had the same exact problem. Was it going side to side, kind of not wanting to keep straight while you were trolling?
Yeah, all kinds of different things.
All sorts of weird things.
Some crazy stuff, yeah.
But before we go any further, they took care of it right away. They had to walk me through a bunch of. They had you walk through the load test and all sorts of stuff. So
I had to take mine in and get it actually swapped. They ordered a new motherboard for mine. Really? And replaced it.
They just sent me. They had me send the old one in, and as soon as they saw that it was in the mail with the tracking number, I had mine the next day.
Really?
Yeah. So it was no big deal. It's just one plug. When whatever the Moly plugs, whatever Molex plugs, and that was pretty much it. But it was an easy fix, and it fixed it right up. My only other complaint about all the Altera, and if anybody's out there listening that has anything to do with them, man, that remote needs to be backlit. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
The buttons on the remote, definitely. So I use my phone at night, which is okay. It's not as responsive, but it works.
Never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, man, there's something about not having to get up and walk to the front of my little boat and deploy the motor, and I can control it from the back when I'm long line trolling and stuff. So I'm willing to deal with it. I keep a can of the dry silicone spray in my boat, and I'll actually shoot it every now and then. It'll make a little tiny bit of noise, and that seems to work for me. I haven't had problems since.
Yeah, I just did that actually when I reinstalled it. The other thing that happened to me just happened, and I tell you, Minn Kota has been awesome to me, because when the motherboard went out, or went out, whatever it was that happened to it, it was a few days before, or actually it was the day before I called him. I went to throw my anchor out and it caught my remote and took it right in the water. So when I'm calling him to tell him about this, and he goes, "Do you have your remote handy?" And I said, "Well, that's actually another story." So I tell him the whole story about the remote. And at the end of it all, oh no, I know what it was. That was the puck, the little white puck.
The GPS puck, the receiver.
Yeah, mine quit working.
Oh no.
So that's what I was calling him about.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I've had so many problems that I'm losing track of which
one. Did it just lose Bluetooth connection because your motherboard was out?
No, it just totally quit working.
Huh.
No, and I checked, power, it was getting power and everything. It just wouldn't work. And, that was the same thing. They said, just send us the old one. We'll mail you a new one. But first he wanted me to try a few things, and he asked me about the remote. And I said, man, I threw it in the water. I told him the whole story. And at the end of it all, he goes, sir, he goes, I'm going to send you a new remote too. And I was already looking at them online. They ain't cheap. And I was like blown away. I was like, oh, wow. The puck was over $100 and the remote was over $100, and they sent me both. And then this last time, the motor that deploys and stows, there's another little motor in there. It's a little round cylinder and it's got a screw. The whole back of it busted out. It was cold. Me and Roger was down at the river. It was like 13 degrees, I think, that day. We shouldn't have probably even been out there. But that morning, starting out, it was only like 13 degrees. And it was froze up, and I kind of tried to force it. And we heard this pop when I went to deploy. So anyway.
That's never a good sound, is it?
No, I couldn't even. I could get it to stow, but I'd have to help it, deploy and stow, but I'd have to kind of help it along. Because what it was, that motor in there was just moving around, it wasn't secured like it was supposed to be. And it's a weak part. They've actually upgraded it. The new one is super beefy in the back there. And also there's a metal thing that attaches to. It was made out of aluminum, and he even got me that part in a stainless steel. Now the upgraded part is stainless steel. And there was another part in there. So I got like 3 parts. My warranty had run out on the 5th of February. My 2-year warranty was up. This happened on the 8th. I was scared to death they wasn't going to cover it,
Well, at least they covered it for you.
They covered it. They covered all of it. And
well, that was good. They stay behind their stuff, so definitely. I've never heard anybody have
a lot more beefy now. Heavier. So I'm more confident in it. It seems like it's working great, and can't really wait to get it back out to see how it does work. But I did that. I lubed it. I watched Catfish Edge. He's got a pretty good little video about the Altera, lubing it up in certain spots. And I even tightened up my belt. You might look at that.
Yeah, I actually made a video about that. It turned out horribly lit. I didn't put it out yet. So next time I service it, I'm going to do it. But yeah, I do all those things. And I did watch a couple of videos. Hey, real quick, the messages they wanted me to read is, I was told by Mr. Stokes that he's going to give out a bunch of CPR or some CPR stickers. We have a giveaway for some. Let's see. If we get to 100, he'll give out a couple CPR decals. Also, I have a sticker pack that I can send out with all of our 4 channels: Fishing with the Chad, James Dockery Fishing, Catfish Weekly, Panfish Weekly, and my channel as well. We'll get them to you. So if we can share this out and get those, get that number up to 100, that's what they want. We're definitely going to do that. I think we can. We got a bunch of awesome people in here. So, and everybody loves a giveaway.
I just shared.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, mention there's a giveaway. That brings everybody in. Also, if you're listening to this at a later date on a podcast, it's one of the advantages to listening to the show or watching the show live is you get to take part in a lot of giveaways in these shows that are on YouTube. Best way to do that, subscribe and ring the bell. All right, so we went through the Altera issues. Let's talk about fishing. Would you rather fish for flathead or blues?
Ah, man, that's tough. I just like fishing for all of them.
I'm the same way, but if someone says, do you want to go fishing for flathead or do you want to go fishing for blues? What's your pick?
I'm going to say flathead because that's something we've been talking about. We kind of got on these blues, but I do miss the flathead bite, and the fight, really, because when you catch a flathead, man, especially one with some size, it's like they just do not want to come off the bottom.
No, even I call like the 30-pound range. I call them gladiators because they're like the teenage bucks playing football. You know what I mean? They haven't been sitting on the couch for a little while getting fattened up. They're the ones that are running around chasing all the girls around. Those are the ones I really like to catch. And if you've been chasing flatheads, you'll know what I'm talking about. The big ones ain't bad. It's always good to get a PB, but in that 30-pound range, I'm a happy man. But the way I like to think about flathead is they're musky you have to put your back into. They're about as hard as catching muskie as far as I'm concerned, because the guys out there who are musky fishermen are slaying them. They got it down to a science, and flathead guys are kind of the same way. So I definitely love flathead, and I'm inexperienced in blues, so hopefully this summer we're going to change that. I got some big plans for that.
And we've been talking that we're going to try to target flatheads a little more this year.
You and the River Warriors.
Yeah, the River Warriors. We've been talking it out.
So is the River Warriors, is that like a team name, or is that just what you guys call it yourselves?
Yeah, it actually is. Zach kind of came up with it. We'd been tossing around maybe doing a few tournaments. So Zach found this little tournament. It's just like one tournament a month. I think there's 6 or 7. I think there's 6, and then the like the finale, I don't know what they call it, the big tournament at the end, for the whole series, So he's wanting to try to do that series, and we're all 3 going to do it. That way, if one of us can't make it, there'll still be 2, and we're going to give it a shot. And Zach, he's a Marine. He served in the Marines for us, and he came up with that River Warriors, and I really like it.
I like it too. Thank you for your service, Zach. I see him in there. I keep forgetting I'm trying to get better at this. Zach H says, we call flatheads mud muskies in the rivers around him. Also, setting hooks and crossing eyes. Ryan says muskies are tough. And also, I have to highlight, Betty Cross says, Mark, if you don't get a blue this year, I'm going to have to disown you. I don't doubt that either. Holy smokes.
Hey, you need to get a blue.
We'll get one.
Blues are fun. Blues are fun, too, I tell you. That's one thing about a blue, especially the bigger ones. They don't mess around, man. They just take it.
Take it down. Honestly, I want to try bumping. That's on the agenda this year, and drifting baits. I want to see that rod just bend over and sink halfway into the water. So,
biggest one I've caught bumping was like a 12-pounder, and it felt like a tank.
Tank, really?
And I tell you, even a 5-pounder, when they hit that thing, it just. Man, it is such a rush when you're just kind of bumping along, you're kind of getting a rhythm, and then all of a sudden, bam, it just hits that thing and feels like it's just going to pull right out of your hands, I can't imagine what like a 30 or 40 would be.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. Nebraska Wildcats says, Mark, if you need to come to Nebraska for some big old channels. Speaking of channels, do you like channel cats, Skip?
Oh, yeah. Pound for pound, I think they fight harder.
I think they do. Only fish, that I think pound for pound is a little harder to fight would probably be a salmon, but that's a whole other beast. Parker Pursuit says to come down to Missouri. Mo Creeks and I will get you on some blues. I don't doubt that at all. It sounds like a good time. Betty says 3rd time's the charm. Skipper, tell us a 60-pound fish. We're going to get to that. Be patient, Betty. Betty's my little sister. Be patient, young lady. So you have a lot of experience bumping, or is that something you guys just started doing recently?
Just something I picked up right there. Actually, Zach was turning me on to it up there at the Greenup Dam, right probably in the fall. We tried it a few times and it just wasn't having no luck. But then one day, man, we got on them. You know, nothing, like I say, like the biggest one was about 12 pounds. But shoot, we caught several that day doing that, and it was a blast. But then, you know, it started getting colder, and it just the conditions wasn't right for it, you know. So we're going to try picking it back up. You know, when this spring ought to be good.
Oh, I can't wait for spring. Roger over at Muskrat Adventure says she asked Betty. Betty, he asked too. Mark just has a hard time keeping up with chat when he has a good guest. You are not kidding me. So forgive me if I'm missing questions. You know, we'll leave a little time to see what kind of questions. If you guys can hold on to your questions for a few minutes, we'll corner Skip. We'll put him in the hot seat and answer. Have him answer some questions for us. Let's see what else is going on here. So what are your plans for fishing this year? You're going to chase catfish all summer, or do you chase anything else? Any other fish you like to chase besides going back to bass? Or
we'll probably hit the crappie in the spring too when they're really fired up. We like catching a few mess of those. My son really enjoys it, and any chance I can get to get out with him, I love to. He's starting a career and a family, and he would be out there with me a lot more, I believe, if it wasn't for that, because that's all we used to do. He's my youngest son. My oldest son, I don't know, he did it when he was younger. He hunted and fished, and but he just don't really care to do it anymore. He does his own things, and
he might be busy. He'll come back. I went through that same phase there for a while. You get busy with career and family and stuff, and you kind of get led astray. It's kind of easier to do some hobbies that keep you closer to home too. So
I know there's a part of him that wishes he was out there.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
he's tied up.
Hopefully he'll come back, and crappie fishing's always fun. That's why I call my channel that, because I always put all the cats back. Usually I'll keep one channel every now and then. I've only had like one small 4-pound flathead in my days here. It was delicious, but I kind of put them back. I kind of like them all that too much. So crappie's fun to find and catch and eat. So
sometimes we'll catch a mess of channels and cook them up. I actually like channel cat. I think it's really good. Zach, he swears by the blue. I'd like to really try some of the blue. There's days we could catch a fish fry.
Yeah, when you guys have those, when you guys get on the fish, I saw Roger on his live stream. I think he got on 10 fish the other day, and that was in a short time. I might not have been talking, but I'm kind of always watching the live streams in the background, and I don't mean not to talk by any disrespect. It's just I'm trying to get some work done and stuff. So
me and Zach went out the very next day and got 15. So
I saw Jeremy too. His last video, he caught a couple of nice size eaters. So small ones. I've been listening to a couple of podcasts where like the prediction's very high for any fish under 10 pounds. The chance it gets bigger than 10 pounds is slim to none. So if you're going to take a fish, selective harvest, I have no problem with that. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yep.
Jason Ward says cold water blue cats are pretty tasty. I agree as far as channel cats go. So. All right. So if you guys want to start asking some questions while we're doing this, just put a couple of question marks before it or some asterisks. Help me, being the old man I am, to find them in all the chat. But while you guys are doing that, I'm going to pause the chat here on my screen. We're going to ask Skip about his 60-pound blue cat. They want to hear that story. And if you guys didn't look at the thumbnail for this, I believe that's the fish, correct?
Yes, it is.
That's a beast.
Yes, it is.
Let's see if I can't get that to go. So why don't you start saying that? Maybe I can get get that picture on the screen. So how long ago did you catch that fish?
I was back January 16th, I believe. Actually, me and Roger were supposed to go, But
Look at the size of that slob. Holy smokes. For the people listening at home on podcast, this thing is literally like the size of Skip, pretty much. I imagine it made it up like midsection, right? Maybe even a little higher. And how tall are you?
I'm about 5'10" and a half.
Yeah, that's
11,
a big
5'11".
fish. Big fish.
I think I measured it 48, if I'm not mistaken. I told Zach, I was on the phone with Zach. He said, what's it measure? And I got the tape measure out. I believe it was 46 or 48 inches. But man, it was a pig. I tell you. And of all days, I forgot the GoPro. Right off, I got to Piketon. Piketon's like about halfway there, maybe a little further than halfway there. I was like, oh man, forgot all my camera gear. Forgot my mounts, even for my phone. I had this mount in my truck. I said, well, I'm going to take that along, just in case for pictures or something. It's like a suction cup one.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was by myself and, usually used to having someone else. And so, I just started applying, usually you got two brains going on, well, let's try this, or we could try that, it was just me. And here I was trying to conversate to myself. Well, where should I start? And, I started at one spot and caught a few. I was doing pretty good there. Caught several, I think about 6 fish just there in that one spot, but, no real size or anything. And so I started just doing a lot of scanning. A while back, we got a chance to go out with Chris Sodders. Me and Zach did. And one of the biggest tips that he gave us, I feel, he said, find the fish, catch the fish. You don't just set up on nothing. He said sometimes you have to, like when they're buried down and things like that. But he said, if you can find them and then set up and catch them, So he showed us a few things, what to look for and stuff like that, which, we already had some ideas, but he just cleared a few things up. And so I started applying that. And, man, I come across this one spot where we always see fish there, but a lot of times they're scaled fish. They show up different on the sonar. But mixed in, I could see a few other. I said, man, I bet anything there was a catfish because they was lower. They was down below all the scaled fish. Then all of a sudden, I seen this huge mark. And I thought, man, I said, I bet that's a big catfish. And so I marked it, and I went on up. I scanned up through there probably 200 or 300. I just didn't really see anything else. And I said, I'm going to go back to that spot. So I went back, set up on it. I got 2 poles out and was getting, working, baiting up the third one. And that first rod went down. It was about an 8-pounder. I was like, all right, got him in. And finally got all my rods out. And the one we call it a swing rod. We always throw like a lightweight on, throw it out in the channel and just let it come up against the ledge. Got one on that, another 8-10-pounder. I was like, all right, so I'm doing good. Man, all of a sudden, that rod just went 4 eyes deep. Yeah, that's what we said. We said it didn't go 4 eyes deep, but man, it just went down. I was like, oh my goodness, and just reeled that thing in. And I've been trying to, I caught about 440s last year, and I was really wanting to bust that 50 mark. And so I thought, I had no idea it was that big. It was pretty strong current. I was just working him in. He was staying down, and I knew he was a decent fish, but I had no clue how big he was. And just kept working him in, and finally he surfaced, and I was thinking, hey, this is at least a 40. It may be that 50, that I'm looking for, And here I am by myself. I've I've never had to net a big fish by myself. So I'm scrambling around. Luckily, I did have the net pretty close to me. But I had to switch, get the net around behind me. Had to move some rods. I was shuffling the rods around. And, man, he come up. And he really, it was just like he kept a steady pull. And I was telling Zach and Roger, if he would have turned the way that current was, if he would have turned and went the other way, I'd have been in big trouble because I had eight rods out. And
he'd have knit you a sweater.
yeah, I'd have been in big trouble. So luckily he was actually pulling up and away. He was like going toward the bank, but he was coming up, but he was staying down. And then he finally started coming up. Man, when he got up to the top, boy, then he went crazy and shot in behind the boat. And I thought for sure he was going to get back air by the motor or something. You know how you start panicking. Oh man, I'm going to lose him. I'm going to lose him, and he's a big fish. And so finally I said, just stay calm. And I kept working him in. Finally got him up, got up and got that net behind him. And I just let go and let him fall right back into the net. And I was thinking, man, this could be that 50, And then when I pulled him up into the boat and he hit, and I set him down on the floor, I was like, man, this is a pig. I mean, his belly was just bulging.
It takes a while. It takes a while to compute when you get a big fish, don't it? You're just like, no, wait, no. Yeah. I've been through that.
And I'm thinking, you may have this 50, So I'm hurrying up, getting everything unhooked and everything. I pull the handle out of the net. I get the scale and I pull it up, and it's popping over 60. And I'm like, no way, something's wrong, So I'm reset it back to 0, do it again. Right. It kept going from 161 and a half to 163. It just kept going back and forth. I did this 6 times because I couldn't believe it. I weighed that thing 6 times. Mm-hmm. 6 is my lucky number. So I said, okay. So, yeah, it kept reading the same thing. So, my net's about 1.5 pounds. So I said 60 pounds,
Good for you, man. It's cool. It makes it all worth it, doesn't it? When you get that one. I mean, I'm always enjoying fishing. I don't care what size the fish are, but man, you're in a good mood for like a week after that, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and for real.
Then, after I get done with him and everything, and like I say, that camera mount I had, it would only let you get a certain angle. And by that time of the day, the sun was behind me. So I knew I'd be all dark if I took a picture up, like I had it set up. So I moved it to the front of the boat. Well, then I couldn't hold him up like I wanted to, standing, because that angle on that camera wouldn't give it to me. So I had to get down on my knees, and that's why I had him up on my knee like that. I really don't think it justifies just how big he was. I could have got him up there.
It's a heavy fish. I see an epic catfish in the house. What's going on, Tim? How are you? And even that, when he catches big fish like that, you got to hold him up somehow.
He was heavy. I was like shaking by the time I just kept thinking, I got to get him back. I got to get him back. That's all I kept thinking.
You're not kidding. I'm the same way.
I was afraid that, he was going to be out too long. And, I got that one picture, and I took a few of him on the floor, but I put him back in the water, got all settled back down, called. I can't remember if I called Zach or Roger first to tell him about it. And, I know I was on the phone with Roger, and all of a sudden, wham, my pole went down like that again, just buried down, and got a 43 right after that. That was a good day.
That's a real good day. You make it sound like that 43 wasn't that big a deal, but I know there are. All right, we got a couple of questions. I kind of paused chat over here on my side. Dale Fleming, hopefully he's still in here. He's talking about the 17-year cicadas this year. How will it affect the fishing and boating? Millions are supposed to come out. Well, I happen to be old enough the last time they were out that I don't remember the rivers or the lakes being flooded with them. I remember them being out there, and I remember the channel cats feeding on them pretty good. But then again, I remember using them for bait too. So for like bluegill, or not even bluegill, for like bass and catfish and stuff, and even caught a couple of pike on them. I guess everything will feed on them. What do you think? You think it'll slow down fishing for everybody?
I have no idea about that.
I guess it's something to keep an eye on this year, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm scrolling through here to get a couple of questions. I see Palmetto's in the house. I think I said hello to him. Hopefully that answers the question the best we can. So, all right, I am going to, if you're sitting back watching, not chatting, do me a favor, just holler out and chat. I'm going to give you guys like, I don't know, maybe a minute, and then we will take, we will take the names out of chat and load them up, and we'll shuffle them up, and we'll give away the first sticker pack. The first sticker pack is going to be from all four of us, me, Chad, Dockery, and Lyle, and Panfish Weekly. We'll get that out, and then Lyle sent me a message saying he was going to give. I think he said he'd give an OG CPR, a couple OG CPR decals. What that exactly means, I'm not sure, but it sounds cool. I like anything OG. Let's say hello to some people while they're in here. Parker Pursuits, what's going on, Parker? I think I missed you. Fishing Chick, hello. Dave Funk, what's going on, Dave? Look forward to seeing a lot of big fish. Chunky, what's going on? Chunky's still listening. Yep. We got Bluegrass Roadside. I like that name a lot. Hopefully I said hello to Avid. Willard Young, Major Brown, Jade Clements. Man, a lot of people snuck into here. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. I think I'm going to load up the chat like Lyle showed me how to do this for Panfish Weekly. Let me take a second while I'm loading this up to remind everybody that if someone's out there and can share the link, I'm also the co-host on a show called Panfish Weekly. If you're listening on the podcast, it's a great show. Had a blast. We've had guests like O'Neill Williams, Mike Baker, who can forget Babe Winkleman? We had the Bro. He was awesome from up north. Brian Brosdahl, good man. That was a fun show. I really like him. I really like following him on Facebook too. All right, let's do this first one here. So pick a number between 1 and 5, Skip.
3.
3. I should have let you pick 6. 1, 2, 3. John Boy's Catfishing. John Boy's Catfishing. If you could send an email to James Dockery or contact him on Facebook, I'm sure he'll be happy to get that sticker pack out to you. It's pretty cool stuff. And let's do another one real quick. We're getting close on time here. We'll do one more real quick for those the CPR stickers from Mr. Lyle Stokes. I'm reloading the chat up because I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. It's just giving me a hard time here. There's too many people. I didn't think I'd set this. All right. All right. We're loaded again. Okay. Pick again between 1 and 5.
3. Now we got 6.
All right. There you go. I like the way you think. 1, 2, 3. Oh, my goodness. Betty Jean Cross. Betty, why doesn't that surprise me? Her and D win everything. You know how to contact Lyle for that sticker. Go ahead and do that, Betty. Those ladies deserve it, but they're good at winning. So, I had a lot of fun talking with you tonight, Skip. I always do.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Even talking in chat when we're talking on Roger's show. So let me go through and do a little bit of business here before we close up shop. Today is Monday.
I got some good videos coming up.
You absolutely do. That's what I was going to say. Clearview Outdoors. Link is in the description. Check him out on Facebook. Check him out on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, it's a simple look up. Look up Clearview Outdoors. You're going to find him. It's a new channel, but the few videos he has on there are very promising. And I've seen pictures. I know you're not going to be disappointed, people. So give him a sub.
I'm not as quick at it as some guys, and I'm still learning a lot of it. But I got some good footage, and so hopefully I can get it all together.
You did a fantastic job. I know he's got one video about converting a standard 6500 to a line counter, another video where he's testing rods, another fishing video, and I know there's more to come. So I expect big things from him. Laura the Explorer, hello. Again, if you're listening to this on podcast, this is going to be repetitive. Come on to Facebook, watch it live on Mondays, take part in our giveaways. I'm going to have a giveaway when we get to 1,000 subscribers, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm getting real close. Hopefully that'll be a good one. I'm waiting on this stuff to actually become available that I have planned to give away. Next week, Skip, you're going to want to be here and chat, Skip. I know you because you're probably into electronics like I am, right? I know you and Roger and all them, like your dual Garmin setups. I'm having a couple gentlemen here. I'm not going to spoil it by telling their names that I consider probably the best guys is when it comes to I keep forgetting I can't show hand signals. People are watching me, but Betty says, Betty says read her comment. I can kind of guess. Betty, send me a message. Probably the best in the business as far as electronics goes. They're very, 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 very knowledgeable. We're going to talk Garmin. We're going to talk Hummingbird. We're going to talk. Oh my goodness, I can't. What's the other one? Lowrance. That's it. My friend, if she's listening, she's a Lowrance angler. She's going to kill me. And we're going to talk trolling motors. We're going to talk all that stuff with these gentlemen. I think it's going to be something to really geek out to. Hopefully, you guys will all join me. Let me see what Betty has to say. I think she probably wants me to give them out. Betty said to either give it to Skip or we draw. Skip, she wants to give you the sticker pack. Yes. You'll take it? Okay. I'll tell you what. All right. I'm going to give that to you, and I'm going to give one more away. I'll take care of whatever it takes. So Skip's got one. Skip, get a hold of Lyle. He'll mail that to you, or he'll tell you how to get a hold of them. You might need to contact Mr. Dockery. He's been handling a lot of that stuff for us. But pick one more number, and I'll give one more number away to the people in chat.
3.
Number 3 again. All right. Let me reload this here. 1, 2. Hey, I won the second pull. Buckeye Catfishing. Way to go, Buckeye. Buckeye, if you're on Facebook, please contact James Dockery. I'll have him give you a sticker pack. I'll cover whatever that is. And hopefully he'll be kind enough to send those out to me. So Skip, I appreciate your time. It is coming up on 8 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for showing up. It sounds like I'm going on forever, and we could probably talk for another hour, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep this to an hour. So will you do me the I'm going to do like Lyle does to all his great guests. If you're kind enough, can I ask you back in a little while? Would you mind doing this again?
Oh, sure.
Cool. And will you put a kind word in? Will you put a kind word in with Zach? Maybe tell him that you had a good time, that maybe he'll get on my show too.
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, man. I want to give a big shout out to everybody again in chat, the River Warriors. Thank you so much for joining me on this Monday night. Download the podcast. This is going to go live either tonight or tomorrow, and the whole library is going to be going at least 2 episodes a day, so you guys can go back. You guys can listen to how terrible I was when I started doing this. Not that I'm great now, but I was really bad. I was listening to some of that today.
Thanks to everybody in chat, too.
Thank you, everybody in chat. If I missed anybody, please forgive me. Hopefully, I'll get you on the next time. Hopefully, I'll come back. So, again, thank you, Skip. Thank you, everybody in chat. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. We'll see you next Monday night after Catfish Weekly. Let me go through that real quick. Catfish Weekly on Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Muskrat Adventures, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Go to those channels at those names. Wednesday night, Patriot James, Catfishers of America, again, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thursday night is who's on Thursday? My mind's taking a blank here. Oh, Fishing with the Chad. I'm just kidding, Chad.
Look at your shirt.
I know. Fishing with the Chad. I'm wearing the shirt. And Panfish Weekly. I'm on that one Thursday nights at 8. Well, fishing the bait shops at 7 p.m. on the Fishing with the Chad channel. That's a the with a THA. 7 p.m. at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's Panfish Weekly with me and Lyle Stokes. Friday, I believe Stan is taking over on Friday. There's a couple people out there, so that I think Stan's going to enjoy that, whoever else is out there too. Saturday is Mike Greenwald Fishing. Sunday is Palmetto and Avid after him. There's a couple of shows. There's a lot of guys that live stream fishing all through the week. Stan in the morning. My God, they're everywhere. It's so hard for me to remember all this. Please forgive me.
It's awesome. I love it.
I
don't even
love
watch
it too.
TV anymore.
I don't. My TV, I haven't turned it on in weeks.
Unless it's YouTube.
This is true. All right, everybody. Oh, Michael Molinaro. Hey, what's going on? Oh, Molinaro. Michael Murillo. I had a boss named Michael Molinaro that looked almost like him. For some reason, every time I see his name, I think that Michael Murillo. Thank you for checking it out. I just caught your name. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Have a wonderful night. God bless.